Sorry for the delay for those watching live, but here we are. It's Friday. We're going to kick off our weekend with a little drafters action. There's been all this nonsense, all this talk from all these, spreadsheet bros talking about week 17 and the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. We're getting away from that here. Drafters cumulative scoring format week 1 counts the exact same as week 17. How do we go about putting together a team in that format? Very different from all the other conversation we have been having. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. All right, guys. Happy Friday. It looks like 8 more. We need 8 more. I'm going to go ahead and share this on Twitter to try to see if we can fill it. Share it in the Discord. So we don't have to you don't have to listen to me talk for a bunch of time before we do the actual fun part. 8 more for our drafters draft. Now let me hit the Discord and do this fun. 8 more for a draft on stream. See, isn't that wonderful content? Me saying out loud what I'm typing into a Discord or what I'm typing into Twitter. No, I get it. I totally get it. Let's see. See where we're at here on this draft. 6 more. Now we need 6 more. We'll see if we can fill this puppy in the next 10 or so minutes. Not for you, Pangs. I know you won't. I know you won't be able to do it. I mean, well, first of all, hold on. You have a draft in 50 minutes? Like what draft do you have in 50 minutes? It is June 10th? Yeah, exactly. How much time did you spend researching what to write in Discord and Twitter? I watched a bunch of film on people posting in Discord and on Twitter to how to get people to join your drafts. And so you got to see how the sausage got made there. But that was a lot of hard work for me putting in the time, right? I didn't just correlate it. I didn't just correlate my message on Twitter to like what I needed, to like what, was going to fill the draft the best. I had to go study the specifics of like the words, the numbers, how to order them together. I wasn't correlating it to like the fact that I need 8 more guys in this draft, people in this draft. It was more so that I wanted to know that I was right when I typed that thing out, not about like actually filling the draft, if that makes sense. Shout out. Oh, love it, Jordan. Love it, Jordan. It's a fun format. I'm actually really excited for drafters this year. I kind of talk about it when we do all these streams. It gets lost a little bit sometimes in most of the conversation that we hear right around the industry. It's like 4 more now. So if you're watching and you would like to join this draft, we just need 4 more. But it is a super fun format. And I've said this on most of the streams that I was horrible at it last year on drafters. I played a little bit. I didn't draft very many teams on drafters last year. I was definitely focused on Underdog and DK. And I think the fact that I was not really focused on it, in part, the contests were smaller last year on drafters. To be frank, they were smaller, and the time investment for me was definitely better on if I was going to spend it on the other sites. Now quite different. Quite different. Let me actually just go ahead and share my screen here. As you see, 250,000 smackers to first place, 100,000 to second. Even 10th place is getting 5K here on Drafters this year. So it's a whole new ball game. This is a big, huge, life-changing tournament. And like I said, I didn't spend enough time honestly being thoughtful about how to play this tournament last year. I was really bad. I kind of just came over, brought my player takes, brought my wide receiver bro hat, and didn't really honestly. I was one of the guys paying the rake on this site last year, but I'm a lot more interested in also because the industry spends so much time talking about the playoff format, and I love the playoff format. I mean, I also really love the discourse that happens on the playoff format, because it's people get very triggered by the playoff format because it's a very unique and crazy structure to a game that we play, right? Drafters is much more of a traditional, if we went back to our original days of fantasy football that we all played, and we said, okay, how would you define a big tournament? You'd say, well, the team that scores the most points. You say, who's the best team in this tournament? You would say the team that scores the most points. And so it takes all of us back, I think, to kind of what, I'm not saying what is or isn't like the true core of fantasy football, but I think maybe I'm just projecting, but how a lot of people view fantasy football, like at its true core, is just draft the best team, right? And that's the team that scores the most points over the entire season. The playoff format, obviously, two more. If you're watching, if you just joined and you would like to join this draft, we only need 2 more people. Plugging promo code SPIKE. Use promo code SPIKE on Drafters, and you'll get this entry that you would be drafting with us for free. It'll be totally free. All you have to do is deposit $10, and they'll give you a free entry into this tournament, which is a pretty sick deal, by the way. I know, across the whole industry, I don't like to be a bullshitter, right? People do the promo codes and all that kind of stuff, and like, it's a part of it. It's just a part of this business. That's how it goes. But I also don't. If I'm not like being honest, like that's when like it's time for me to hang it up. The deal that Zach and crew from Drafters has put together, that like you get a free entry into this tournament, right? So it's not like a huge raw dollar in return, right? But you don't have to put any money into this, right? $10. You deposit $10 and you get an entry into a $20 tournament. It's with the chance to win 250,000. It's a pretty sick deal. I love I just really love what Drafters is doing this offseason. So shout out to them. The industry still 2 more. While we're doing this, some of you may have watched the stream earlier today, Best Ball Theory, where we talked about some strategy, and I'm going to share our fun new tool again. So apologies to anyone that has already seen this, but we have a premium product here at Spike Week coming out shortly, within days. There's a teaser. Within days, it's coming out, and it will support Drafters. So what you see here is I'm actually just going to go to, so you see over here on the main tab, this is what we're calling Draft IQ. The tool is called Draft IQ. And this is currently filtered for Underdog, as you see here. I can toggle between Underdog and Drafters. And someone asked earlier also, if you play on DraftKings, DraftKings will be supported. We're working on finishing this thing up, which will include DraftKings. But like you see here, I go into this Draft IQ. There's a couple different tabs. I'll also be able to download and upload rankings, right? So if I want to take, it'll come preset with the Spike Week rankings. So if I want to download those and put them onto Underdog or Drafters or whatever, I can do that. Or I have my own rankings. I have my own CSV. Or from another site. I don't give a shit. If you want to use ETR's ranks and put them in here, do it. If you want to use whoever's ranks, yeah. Hayden's, whatever, use them. The tool is just the tool. The rankings are a part of our premium product, but it's not everything. Hold on, sorry. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't miss the draft. So anyway, this tool, like I said, right now it's filtered for Underdog, but you can see, and it comes with this is the Spike Week rankings. I can see about every single player. I can see my exposure, right? So you guys can see here, like I said, we're finishing off a couple things. You'll be able to sort and filter and all sorts of fun jazz. But you can see, this is actually Drafters. I hadn't refreshed. So you see on Drafters, I don't have any Jonathan Taylor yet. Nope, I lied. Okay, so there was the update. That was the puppy. Please forgive me. It's Friday. It's been a long day. It's been a long few days. And we're just trying to make it. We're just trying to make it through the We only need one more, by the way, for the draft. If you're watching and you want to hop in, we need one more for the Drafters draft. But so you see here on Drafters, I actually have 17% Jonathan Taylor. Seeing the exposures and stuff is good. We all want to see that. 25% Travis Kelce. Oh, baby. But the exposure stuff you can find on the sites, right? That's just like, we want to show that. This is really funny, though, if you do look down here. 67% Saquon Barkley. But we want to build in more insight. You need to be able to know more than just how much of a player do I have, right? So first of all, you can have this puppy up while you're drafting, and we have the playoff schedule built in here. We have your exposure obviously built in here. We have the bye weeks built in here, and then your ranks, right? So obviously it would be your rankings, or the Spike Week rankings here, and you can see the player's ADP next to the rank, right? But there's more. You can see this is the player's ADP. Again, on Drafters, this is that player's ADP. Here is what your average ADP that you got that player for, right? So like my average ADP, I have 8% Justin Jefferson, not a big deal. But like my average ADP, I'm taking him ahead of ADP, ahead of where his current ADP is. Or where his current ADP is. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. We'll get away from here. Draft is starting. I'll wrap in 30 seconds or whatever. Damn it. I got like the 109 or something. That's terrible. But I wanted to tease this because it is going to support Drafters. And I do feel pretty passionately about what it's going to help you with on Drafters, especially, right? So you'll be able to see your, the playoff schedule stuff obviously doesn't matter as much for Drafters, but like being able to see, you see for me, 100% of my stuff on Diggs teams on Drafters are 0 RB. Is that something I want? Probably not. So, important to see. And then really quick last thing, if you hadn't seen this, you can see your exposures based on, again, the stacks for the playoff weeks are not super relevant for Drafters, but I can see, the Giants are actually my most stacked team, right? And these are the structures I have most of the time. These are these are the constructions and then the structures, if you will. And we're building in a search functionality for you to be able to search by show me my Saquon Barkley teams, right? You're seeing a little bit of how the sausage gets made there behind the scenes. But I wanted to share that because, I know not everybody got to see the stream earlier today, and looks like it started. Perfect timing. Look at that. On Pangs too. Peng says, I'm not going to join. I got a draft in 50 minutes. Joins, gets the 101. Shocker. What a surprise. Jordan with CMC. I also like how Drafters does it with this board for streaming. I don't know. I haven't decided, how I feel about the differences for just me drafting by myself. But for streaming, it's like, man, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to switch between this board. The board is really clean and easy to look at. Best ball moderate, yes. Let me just put the banner up, the ticker. We'll keep it across the bottom during this draft. Promo code SPIKE on Drafters will get you a free ticket into this $20 best ball championship, $1 million prize pool. And all you got to do is deposit $10. So, you can deposit as much as you want. You get a free ticket with the $10 deposit. Also nice how the board just moves along. I don't have to do anything. This is 100% a friends and family draft, and I don't really like it because this is all good players. This is how I'm punting off $20 is getting in a draft with a bunch of people who are really good at this. I'm gonna take Travis Kelce. I feel like I've made it fairly known that I'm not on these running backs particularly. Did we give? Yep, of course we gave Tony. We gave Tony Najee. So you knew you were going to get Najee too. You knew I wasn't going to take him. So it worked out well for both of us. I got the guy that I wanted, Travis Kelce, and you got Najee Harris. Nick says, I see nothing wrong with 100% zero RB. I tend to agree. But if I don't want 100% zero RB on drafters, where, again, for those that are not familiar, I know probably the people in this draft are familiar and some of the people in the chat are familiar. So cumulative scoring on drafters, and what that means is, like, if you come from Underdog or DraftKings or you even come from like the main event or whatever in season long, there's no playoffs. There's no nothing. The week 1 through week 17, however many points your team scores, that's how you compete in this leaderboard of it's like 55,000 entries. Excuse me. So you draft a team, you got to beat 55,000 other people with your total fantasy points from week 1 to week 17. Like, that's it. Point blank period. Damn, Saquon. I haven't drafted on drafters in a quick minute. Is Saquon going there now regularly, Tony, or are you taking him? You see me, I can't help my zero RB side of things, but we'll get to when the third and fourth round gets here. We'll talk about why. But I'm trying to buy back a little more Tyreek Hill. I was kind of not really drafting him super early in the offseason, and I'm trying to kind of rectify that. I talked a little bit about why one of the days this week we talked about Tyreek Hill. Okay, there we go. Erik B. This is getting silly. So for more than a year now, we keep getting all these Eriks piling in. Constant Eriks. I don't know what it is about you sick fucks, but people, you're like, it's because my name is Erik, I guess, that you gravitate here. Or like we have some kind of like mind meld, some kind of like we got the ESPN. We got something going on that the Eriks just keep showing, and they don't, it's not just watching. This is so weird. It's so weird. The Eriks don't just watch. The Eriks are always in the chat. It's so bizarre. This has been, I've been doing these best ball streams now for, let's call it a year. Spike Week started a year ago. From day one, not that, and I always try to reiterate this because I think it's important. I don't I don't think I know what I'm doing. I don't think I'm good at this. I think I'm just going on this best ball journey with everybody else and like talking about it as it goes and talking to you guys in the chat while I'm learning and figuring it all out, right? But what the hell is it about the name Erik that they always show up in these drafts and they always comment something? And this one also is Erik B. Also is Erik B. I remember this now. You're never draft RBs. Okay, hold on. We're going to come back to this. Oh, damn it. See, I shouldn't have taken Kelsey because now Mike Williams is there. Waddle is really falling. You know what I'm actually going to do here? We're going to pivot. I made him. I was hoping. I don't know the drafters ADP as well as I should. I'm taking Cam Akers here. I made him. I put him on the thumbnail. He's the poster boy for the episode. One of our very smart members. Multiple things. If you listen to Best Ball Bros on Wednesday with John Daigle from 4for4 and Bet Spurts, he talked about one of his like stand plays for this year is Cam Akers, and that the hate has really gone way too far on Cam Akers. And I've also this week in the past couple of days talked to one of our really smart Discord community members. If you're not in the Discord, spikeweek.com, look in the header. There's a Discord button. Go there, join it. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. And it's growing like crazy right now. Like a kid, like a boy in puberty. The Cam Akers thing is so funny because I was during the whole playoff stretch, the hate was so crazy on him that I was like in early drafts really smashing Cam Akers because I just this is the St. Louis this is the roster for the Rams. Siri was just reading me. Siri just said, "Okay, this is the roster for the Los Angeles Rams," and was reading it to me out loud. Jesus, I need the weekend apparently. Cam Akers. Okay, let's hit this pick real quick, and then we'll double back. I do like Deontay, but I am a Hollywood stan first, so we're going Hollywood. So this whole playoff stretch is happening, and Cam Akers looks like shit. Right? He looks terrible. 2 yards per carry, had a couple fumbles, including one really horrible fumble against the Bucs. Lost some passing snaps to Darrell Henderson in the Super Bowl. It all looked pretty bad for Cam Akers. So much so that the market decided this was the time that we were going to be out on the lead running back of the Rams. Remember, Gurley was one of the best fantasy assets ever, so much so that people were still drafting Dust Gurley on the Falcons when he had no knees, basically. He was bone on bone in his knees. We were drafting Cam Akers, at the 1-2 turn last year, then he gets hurt. And both Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel are rock stars in the lead role for the Sean McVay offense. He has always leaned on one running back. It is not that different from Najee Harris. And the reason why Najee Harris goes where he goes is he's a whatever. He's a fine football player, but he's gonna get although we gotten some reports, who knows how real they are, that they want to scale him back a little bit. But the Steelers just use one workhorse. It's what they do. Sean McVay has basically done that exact same thing forever as well. Think back to CJ Anderson, right? We got CJ Anderson for a run and a playoff run for the Rams. And so Akers came back probably way too fast off of the Achilles thing. Now he's had more than enough time to come back, but it's ingrained in everyone's brains what they saw in that playoff stretch. And so particularly in the format like this, as you saw, I am much more zero RB brained. As you guys probably know, I am much more wide receiver heavy, particularly on like DraftKings, even on Underdog, whatever. The playoff format stuff is very different. In this, Cam Akers, where we may never ever be able to get a lead running back on the Rams with Sean McVay as the head coach, where Cam Akers goes. Will he succeed? I have no idea. But I know Sony Michel isn't particularly better than Cam Akers, and he succeeded. And I know that Darrell Henderson, guess what? He succeeded. So here's another guy I'm interested in. Boy, that Brandon Cooks ADP is hefty. Holy Lord. That's wild. I am going to take J.K. Dobbins. It's another similar thing. I don't even like particularly love J.K. Dobbins. I know a lot of people in our bubble are pretty interested in J.K. Dobbins. But my thing is just that if the market decided last year he was a second or third round pick, and he got hurt. Other than the injury, nothing has changed. And so if we're assuming health, why does he now go in the 5th round? I don't. The offense was able to support, like they were able to turn Dust, Latavius Murray, and Devonta Freeman and stuff, Tyson Williams, those guys into fantasy assets. What is J.K. Dobbins going to do if he is healthy? Oh, this is such a. Also, so this I was about to say something, but I was distracted on making my pick. Nick says, I'm sorry. Did Kittle die or something? Nick, who just got Kittle at the 58th overall. 58th overall, George Kittle. I mean, pardon my French. What the fuck, man? George Kittle, 58th overall. We're almost pushing George Kittle to the 6th round. Dalton Schultz. No offense, Eric. This is not a slight at you. Dalton Schultz is going at the 5-6 turn, and George Kittle's going George Kittle went 3 picks before Dalton Schultz. I mean, I obviously, if I have Travis Kelce, so it's a little bit of a different ball game for me. But if I did not have Travis Kelce, so now I'm taking Juju, and I don't really love Juju a ton on. I think I took Juju the last time on Drafters too. I don't totally love Juju on Kelce teams. I think their true pure ceiling is probably a little bit negatively correlated, but you also have the potential to just get 1A, 1B on the Chiefs. PPR is definitely a little bit better suited for Juju, and I think at this cost, 65th overall, I'm willing to bite that bullet. I think the problem becomes with Juju is maybe on some of the other sites where the ADP is a little bit different or whatever, where you start, the cost becomes a little bit more prohibitive. This also fell into like a little bit more of a pocket of the draft where like I don't really want Antonio Gibson, RIP. I don't really want Adam Thielen. I don't really want Eli Mitchell. I definitely don't want AJ Dillon at that cost on a PPR site. I don't want CEH at that cost, right? So it just kind of became he's the best left of a tier, even though on a Kelce team, I think without Mahomes, it's so-so. It's so-so. Best Ball Monitor says, are you worried about Kyren Williams? No. I actually, Kyren is such a funny one because before we got the combine and stuff, I was big on Kyren. I'll have to look it up after this. I have quite a bit of Kyren in like the big board, yeah, in the big board, and but it's because Kyren was extremely elusive in college. He was a touch small, but not too small. Touch small, but extremely elusive in college and extremely productive in college, extremely productive early in college, and does the things like 2 things that you need to become like a workhorse back in the NFL. Be a good receiver, pass protect. He's awesome at both of them. It's his best 2 skills. Is being a receiver. Like they would line him up out wide and like play him at receiver. He would run like traditional receiver routes, and then obviously he did the stuff normal running backfield stuff. But he's a killer pass protector, and so I was just like in love. I'm like, this is it. The market doesn't understand how important pass pro is. The market doesn't understand that this dude is like such a good receiver, right? We're latching on to like Rachaad White and things like that when Kyron was better at all that stuff than Rachaad White. And then he tested. Then he tested. And this is kind of a tricky spot. I'm thinking. Taking Brandon Ayuk. I want to set up. I don't really have stacks set up. I have Tua set up. And so you know me. I'm just trying to set up a Trey Lance stack, which is probably is he gone? He might be gone for all I know. No, not yet. 95.9 ADP for Trey Lance. That's fine. Over here. Let's see. Oh, Beachhead. That was. I do remember when Gibson had legendary upside, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick basically never played for Washington. Their whole team collapsed, and Gibson also himself collapsed. It's so funny. Here's a great story, not necessarily related to Gibson specifically. Also, Tony, I saw your comment and go fuck yourself. Last year, if you like listen to my content and stuff, right? Actually, like Debo is one of my highest owned wide receivers. Cooper Kupp actually ended up being one of my highest owned wide receivers. I was on Andrews. I was on I was on a lot of the right guys, but the like brand plays, Debo was probably one of the brand plays, but one of the brand plays, motherfucker. The other Erik B just double tap quarterback, including Trey Lance. Okay, back to the story. We're going to let that one go for right now. But I'm pissed. I'm not happy. My brand plays were Antonio Gibson, Darrington Evans, and Trey Lance. You can't miss more. It's not. I'm taking Tony Pollard, by the way. I love that Treylon Burks is falling. That's so funny. But I'm taking Tony Pollard here. Literally attached my brand to a quarterback who got steamed up to like the freaking 7th round and never played. Trey Lance. A running back who actually never played, got hurt in the preseason and never played. Darrington Evans. And Antonio Gibson, the legendary upside, as Beachhead says. Legendary upside, 2nd round running back that we steamed up and was fucking terrible. We steamed all these dudes. 3 of my favorite players from the entire player pool. This tells you a lot about the player takes thing. And other smart people, smarter than me, much smarter than me, were like, those are great. Yep, love Trey Lance. Right? I talked to Mike Leone, brilliant fantasy football mind at the beginning of the year last year. And one of the things we talked about was Trey Lance and the 49ers. He was on it. Right? Talked about Darrington Evans until the cows came home last year. Hayden Winks, Underdog, was like, that was so good. The Darrington thing was so smart. Right? Talked about Antonio Gibson with the ship chasing guys. And they were like, I mean, he's the legendary upside bet, right? Everybody was on JT. Everybody agreed on JT. He hit, but Gibson was a total disaster. It's the perfect thing to show you that the individual player takes, as strong as we may feel, you're going to miss so much, right? Hit on Debo, hit on Mark Andrews, hit on this, hit on that, whatever, but miss on other extremely critical pieces. And yet despite the fact that I put my entire brand on the line for a couple of these losers, absolute losers, had a top 10 team in Best Ball Mania, was alive for a long time to win Best Ball Mania. Right? And so it's just like, that's like my big thing with being too rigid on individual players. Hold on, I gotta find this comment. There we go. Also, yes, I wanted to make sure I got Nick's point on this. Yeah, Kyron also has a broken foot right now. So, Kadarius Toney helps me set up another stack here. See, now I should have fucking taken Renfro. So I could have taken Carr, but alas. Tony Claypool, I like. We're taking Tony. We're taking Kadarius Toney here for sure. Because I got two strong running backs, a third Pollard who I feel good about, but quarterback is gonna and tight end I'm obviously not worried about. But quarterback / stacking is gonna get a little bit tough here, and I do still believe you want to stack here. You don't have to. It's not, it's a very different game in terms of stacking on drafters. I do still think you want to. I think there's a big misconception on stacking. It's just like a 1 week thing, but like in reality, it's like, okay, so I took Kadarius Toney here. So actually, 2 of my last 3 picks were Kadarius Toney and Brandon Ayuk. Right? If Kadarius Toney plays the whole year and doesn't act like a moron, if he shows and like explodes, right, it could be one of many reasons as to why he explodes. It could be the play of his quarterback. Maybe Daniel Jones takes a step forward. Maybe Brian Daboll just makes Daniel Jones better. And so there's the ceilings for the year are just as correlated as on any one individual week, right? The offense is great. Daniel Jones is better. Brian Daboll's awesome. Kadarius Toney's awesome. They all elevate together. Same thing with Brandon Ayuk. Maybe Trey Lance just elevates this offense. I'm not saying he will. I'm saying that's the bet you make on that stack. God damn, I hate this team now. Got locked out of fucking quarterback. This is terrible. Well, you guys see my plan now. Kenny Galladay. Wait, I just hit select. There we go. Okay, we're good. Peng said, had a feeling you would go Ayuk. Yeah, now I regret it because I could have got a Derek Carr stack, which I actually really like. Also really like the Raiders stacks on drafters in specifically because I have like small concerns with like pure raw ceiling from Carr plus 2 Raiders at their cost on like Underdog, let's say. Carr obviously doesn't run. And then it's such a interesting offense where McDaniels is not necessarily just like a total gunslinger OC. So they may not, we're hoping that they're going to be a lot more pass heavy. We're kind of making that bet. But even then it's like, man, Waller goes in the 4th round, Devontae Adams goes in the 1st round, Renfro goes in the 7th round or whatever. It's a little tricky with a quarterback that doesn't run also at a so-so price. But on here, those guys are all, with PPR scoring. It's like if they do throw a little bit more, maybe we can support a couple extra guys, and then like maybe the offense is just awesome. And over the course of the entire season, as opposed to any one individual week, over the course of the entire season, I'm getting the benefit of that on drafters, right? Week 1 counts the same as week 17. If they're just an awesome offense, which I think they have a good shot to be, Derek Carr is obviously going to benefit from that. But like, I still don't know that in any one individual week, like Derek Carr is ever going to have the ceiling of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, etc. Right? Trey Lance. Great question by the other Eric. Also, I've seen the other Eric on these drafts a lot for whatever reason. I don't know if it's always just from the stream, but I feel like even when I'm not drafting on stream, the other Erik is here. Oh, okay. I'm in a good spot here. There's somebody that makes a shit ton of sense as long as my boy Updog doesn't take him. I have Tyreek Hill. So without any quarterback so far, definitely on Tua here. The cost is kind of whatever, but you got to pay the cost that you got to pay on the site that you're on. That's how it goes. But Erik says, in this season-long format, you have to shoot for the high upside league winners. And I think the idea of high upside league winners is always a tricky one because some people didn't think that Cooper Kupp was a high upside league winner last year. I did. Tony in the chat certainly did, having the most Cooper Kupp in all of best ball last year. But it's one of those things that are a little bit more difficult. You know, last year there were guys you needed. But identifying exactly who that is not that simple. And so to answer the question, but not really answer the question, I think you need at least X amount of the high upside, X amount of the league winners that actually play out on your team to win here on Drafters. 100%. Updog, I don't know if Updog's in the chat. He's in the draft though. I think he got second in the Drafters main tournament last year and had JT, Eckler, Kupp, Andrews, I believe. So like 4 of the main big time league winners, but didn't have, it was Russ and Stafford, I think, at quarterback on his team. And so, and a little bit of lack of depth at running back. And so, it's a interesting slash. Oh, well, we might take a sickie here. If I don't really love, hitting another tight end this early on, but there's not going to be another Dolphins pass catcher to stack here. And then obviously 2 tight. I mean, I would have been 2 tight end with Kelsey regardless, but I got my Dolphins stack. Let's see here. Oh God, Jason, this is so true. You should have seen me. So I'm in my office, obviously. I will in my life. This is so fucked up. This is what is so sad about my life in best ball, right? I remember that preseason game. I remember sitting here in my office. So there's a TV right here. Sitting in my office. Dogs are still hyped for Darrington. Sitting in my office, turning on the preseason game and just being like, okay, let's do this. Here it is. And the first play of the Titans-Falcons preseason game, Darrington rips off like a 15-yarder. Cooks somebody in the open field. He looked good. He looked legit good. And I'm just here like, it was like your child scored their first touchdown in Little League. I felt that proud, which is really, like I said, just a sad thing to say. Like it is. It's really sad. But like, I will never forget in my life he touched the ball like 4 times before he got hurt, because then he hurt his hamstring and that was it basically for his season. I will basically never forget those Darrington Evans like touches in that preseason game, because I had like pot committed myself as a brand. It's fun to like mess around and do the brand stuff, and I did that with Darrington. I've obviously done that with Trey Lance, and so I was so pot committed that I found myself like on the edge of my seat watching a Titans-Falcons preseason game where none of the starters are playing. This is definitely true, Tony. When you bat 1,000 for a year and win $1 million, you're definitely going to lose. Najee's getting hurt, just FYI. I'm not wishing that on him, but I'm saying if we're being totally honest, Updog, if you do this, I will punch someone. I'm hoping you don't have. Oh no. Oh, he has Josh Allen. Okay. Whew. All right. There we go. Look at this. This worked. Ended up with the Dolphins double stack, and Giants double stack. It's fine. Who needs Trey Lance when you have Daniel Jones? Who needs good quarterbacks when you have the quarterback for the Giants that they didn't pick up the 5th-year option on? Best Ball Moderate says, Locked On 49ers pod hinted at, shout out to you for listening to the Locked On, each team pods. You grind harder than me. He doesn't look twitchy in practice, whatever that means. Yeah. What I like to do with those, I love when people bring stuff like that up because I'm not listening to the Locked On 49ers podcast. So I need people like you to help inform me. And you just like store that nugget away, right? Like a squirrel with a nut. You just like store that away and you're like, okay, it's probably nothing. It's not guaranteed to be nothing. So let's keep it in there and kind of see how the offseason plays out. Unfortunately, this 49ers literally canceled the rest of like mini camp and stuff like that. So it's not going to be super helpful, but when training camp comes back around. Yes, John, we built one. I'll show it to you. If we have time at the end of this draft stream, I'll pull it up. If we don't, I'll send it to you. Yeah, man, Darrington was a beast in college. I don't know. He's on the Bears now. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know. And Chase. And Updog. This is Updog. Updog also had Chase on that team. Which is funny because Chase was obviously a smash. But like Chase wasn't like Chase didn't like we just remember Chase from the playoffs. I mean, he was awesome for the whole year. But he wasn't like just like blowing away the entire player pool for most of the entire year. I really need to eventually at some point here figure out what my actual structure is. Oh boy. This is early, I think. No, this is okay. Taking Tyrion Davis Price. A little early, but I have him ranked over these other guys. Have a small bet on the 49ers with Brandon Ayuk. I don't that's one thing on Underdog and DraftKings. People will talk about that, and I'm a little more of a stickler for not wanting to stack my running backs with like my main quarterback stacks as much as other people do. But at certain cost, I think it's totally fine. But in this instance, I think people will attach basically what I'm trying to say is I think people will attach running backs on Underdog and DraftKings and say like, oh, we made a bet on this team, or oh, this is adding to my stack. And I think it actually can be more often than not a negative. A lot of the times when people use that logic, they're saying logic that seemingly makes sense. But I think more often than not, it's actually probably a negative for the upside of your team. On drafters, it is a little bit different. And then obviously cost obviously plays a big part. If you're taking a guy in the 160s, 170s, whatever, it's very different, right? Than taking, I took Dalvin Cook. I'm adding to my, that's a god fucking awful example. I took Travis Kelce and Juju. I'm adding to my Chiefs stack with CEH or Rojo. It's like, actually, that's probably really fucking bad. Anyway, Tyrion Davis Price, it's one of my guys. DJ A Dog 3K says, how far do you think you should reach for an elite QB in a two QB build? So I don't think you should really reach for an elite QB almost ever. If it flows to you, it's going to happen. If everybody else is reaching on them, I mean, look at this. I'm literally drafting a team right now that doesn't have doesn't have an elite QB. Just didn't work out. I tried to set up Trey Lance, Kyler Murray, a little bit of a spoiler. Oh, I've been talking about Kendrick Bourne so much today. Now he's stuck in my head. I actually think I'm going to take Kendrick Bourne. I am going to take Kendrick Bourne. That is an ode to the stream we did earlier today. Best Ball Theory, where we talked about late round targets. And we talked about the goddamn Patriots for like a half hour. And I hate the Patriots. But of course, Tony takes Nico Collins. Yeah. So I meant how far do you reach for elite QB in a 2 QB league, 2 QB build, 2 QB in any sort of 2 QB best ball build, though, just to finish my point. I wouldn't. Oh, in a super flex league, definitely not my area of expertise. So I don't want to speak too much on like super flex contests, although I do think we will be getting one on Underdog. I don't, this is zero inside information. I think it might be one of the next ones we get on Underdog. Maybe a puppy, a super flex puppy or whatever. Hey. Dude, these dogs have never-ending energy. You've never seen anything like this before in your entire life. We've done 2 walks today. It's out. This is out. Absolutely out of control. Damn it! I was hoping that Mac Jones. Hey! I'm trying to pick football players. Stop playing. What a life. 5 seconds left. Since I have 5 seconds left, we're just going to add to this giant stack, even though I really didn't want to do that. Hold on. Unbelievable. This is the life. This is no shit. We went for a walk. I intentionally did this to tire them out. Went for a long walk earlier today, and it's hot here. It's hot. Mostly more humid. I actually don't know what the temperature is. 81 with extreme humidity. Take these crazy shits for a long walk earlier today, and then wrap up some of my work, and I'm like, okay, I got like 45 minutes before this next stream starts. I'm going to take them again. Just tire them out so that then during this stream, the whole point was so that during this stream, they would like sleep and relax. Nope. Failed there. All right, so let me take a look at this roster here now, real quick. All right, so I got 2 quarterbacks. I'm very interested in a third. So what I really do need to do is actually focus here a little bit. Okay, not a quarterback here. Running back, I can use a running back. I really like James White on drafters. I'm gonna queue him. Good. Not taking any more tight ends. Man, that is. I don't really like Gus here. And I have Dobbins. That's like actually kind of fascinating. You know what? Let's go crazy. We're gonna double tap Ravens running backs with Gus at pick 200. How about that for some fun? Let's go Ravens running game. That is the first time I've done that on any fantasy football team ever. And you got to watch it. Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, Tony Pollard, Tyrion Davis-Price, and Gus Edwards. I mean, Gus Edwards, ADP of 168 or whatever, and getting him at pick 200, that's pretty fun. Like I said, I really like James White. Who took James White? Nick, of course. Valus goes. Duvernay Pringle. I got to think about this quarterback thing. This is the problem with having freaking Tua and Daniel Jones. Trying to think here of what I can do. If there's any backdoor stacking options with any of these quarterbacks, not really. All right, let's look at running back. Oh, here we go. Just when all else fails, take your guys, draft your guys. And Chris Evans is one of my guys. Are you drafting Snoop Connor? I'm not. But I understand why someone might. Now this motherfucker. Now this dude is eating a blanket over here. Just outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. I'm big on Chris Evans. Also, like the drafters thing, that his best skill is as a pass catcher. So I'm really big on that. Tony, are you talking about Evans or this is such a good question. Is Chris Evans going to grow the lore of the Evans curse? First Darrington, now Chris. Yeah, I think so. I also shared earlier today that I wrote a sleepers article, right? But I actually think redefining a little bit of what a sleeper is, and put Chris Evans. Chris Evans was I did a quarterback, a running back, and a wide receiver, and Chris Evans was the running back. I'm big. I'm very high on Chris Evans. So I do think we might get a little Chris Evans steam at some point, because I also know that our good friend Josh Norris is very much on Chris Evans. So when, again, much smarter people than I start to agree on certain players, that's how you know. So at 6 running backs, I think I'm pretty good with Anchor Akers here. I really need to figure out if I'm going to take another quarterback. It would be Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral, which means I need to think about if I'm going to backdoor stack one of those guys. I'm just going to start adding, though, kind of some of these late round wide receivers that I like into the queue. We'll put Terrace for the Matt Corral thing. We'll put Danny Gray, of course. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go ahead and just take Kenny Pickett. Not because there's wide receiver options here, but he's in my opinion, I'm interested in what you guys think. I think he's much higher chance to start than Matt Corral, which maybe that shouldn't be exactly what I'm focused on, but it is a little bit more in drafters. I mean, when you just get picked in the first round, it's a very big difference than when you get picked in the third. And so I want to place that bet a little bit more there. And then we're going to round this out with another wide receiver. I mean, I don't really want to take another Giant, but this is absolutely nuts with these fucking dogs. Good Lord, wide receiver is bad. So bad. What'd you guys do to this? This is terrible. I don't want any of these guys. I guess I'll click a couple of these just to have somebody in the freaking. And there goes Dubs. I was going to add Romeo Dubs to the queue. I saw some Anthony Schwartz love recently. Oh, well, if you're going to give me Danny Gray, I think I have like a million. Let me think about this now. I actually should probably take. Hold on. I got 10 seconds. How many Giants do I have? 3 Giants wide receivers already? Yeah. Okay. I don't want. Fuck it. Danny Gray it is. I like DJ A says McKenzie is the guy in that range. I like that. I like McKenzie. I like Shakir. I should probably, this is a good point on Jawan Jennings. I'm very high on Danny Gray. I just think he has is the profile of a, dare I say, Spike Week player for basketball, and got some real draft capital. Also, don't tell the film grinders this. I play a lot of college football, DFS. I watch a lot of college football. Danny Gray is a fucking baller. We played him all the time in college football DFS. He's a monster big play specialist. He's like a Kmart version of Jameson Williams for me. So I'm a little biased. Nick takes Kyle Phillips because Nick likes to have sex with 3 condoms on. Way better this week than last week. Thank goodness. Tony says, yeah, you said your team was bad last. Oh, Jason is a Tennessee fan. That is unfortunate. Nick says, I wish DK would make college football bigger. I love it. I couldn't possibly agree more. I grind both college football and college basketball. Those are like my 2 favorite DFS sports. And I love college basketball. I love college football. So the fact that the DFS contests are so small is really painful, but it does keep out a lot of the whales and stuff. So it's like kind of a catch-22. If you want all the best DFS players in the world to come into your games, get the contest to be really big. If you want, to be able to beat some of the, that's the thing about the niche sports, is that like it's almost a little bit like that with best ball, is that you have to lock your money up for a while, and the contests are not quite big enough to make the really, really, really smart, super sharp whales come in and take it really serious. So, right, they can just get action down every night in DFS. They don't have to worry about putting in the time for best ball when it's not really worth it. Same thing for the niche sports. So it's kind of like a catch-22. Not a live final. It's online, or it has been online. Shout out to me. Because I've made it every year usually. It's the same group of people, the same handful of 20 dudes or whatever in the college football final with a sprinkling of some others. But it's online. It's a great DFS. So I mean, this is out of control. You don't understand. I'm trying to focus, and these 2 shit shows over here are just like high school wrestlers. Absolutely out of control. John says best ball will be like that when the daily contests become a higher price point. I think that's totally fair. Sickos will come out. I agree. I'm not going to do any team reviews. It's the second stream of the day. A little tired. It's the weekend. We are going to be announcing a little bit later today when we're pushing out these tools. I know I've teased them a bunch. I'm doing that on purpose. Thank you guys for playing along with me. We've been teasing the tools, teasing everything. ADP tools, the exposure tools, I'm really, really, really excited about. And some of the other premium stuff that we got coming. We're going to be building a lot more tools as well. This is just the beginning. This is the very beginning of everything that we're going to be building here. Thank you guys for joining and kind of, being along for the ride. It's crazy to think about this past year, right? Just nuts, man. Where we were, where I think about where I was last year, just in this whole space. I don't think I was necessarily very good at best ball, and B, I certainly had no idea what I was doing, making best ball content and all of that. And where we are now as an industry is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I hope that we can be just a small part of it for everybody with the tools and the content. Like I said, I'm specifically excited about some of the tools. It's a little bit more of my background and stuff. But everybody have a wonderful weekend. Look out on Twitter and in Discord for when we're going to be pushing out these products. Like I said, I'm very excited. If you have not hopped into the Drafter Streets, look at the bottom right there. Get your free ticket. Use promo code SPIKE. And everybody have a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you back on Monday night for some more drafts, and maybe we'll be able to mess around with some of the premium products. See you guys. Peace.